Hello, hi. We're just going to admit people into the room. Feeling a little bit flustered. Hopefully you can all see and hear me, and we'll just give it a few minutes for everybody to come in. I've got some plumbers here and I've been trying to explain to them that they have to stop the noise in the background, and they keep going, okay, 5 minutes. And that was like since half an hour ago. So I had to get a little bit stern with them. Those poor men. Anyway, sorry, I've still just got to let a few more people in. Just give it a minute. Admit. So thank you to everyone who's still joining. There are still people coming in, so I'm just going to give it another minute or so to get everyone in. Hi guys. Hi Hannah. Hi Marina. Hi Susan. Hi Megan. Hi Tracy. Tracy, you made it. I spoke to Tracy earlier today and she's like, I'm getting up at 4:30 to come to the call. It's 4:30 in the morning. So round of applause for Tracy. Hi Cynthia. Okay, keep going. Hello. Cool. Welcome everyone. I'm just going to give it another minute. We're doing the calls differently as well this month. Normally we just kind of put a link out, but I wanted people to sort of have it in the members area as well so they can access it. And that functionality is in Podia, which we use. Oh, there's another one. Hold on. That functionality is in Podia, so I figured why not try it? So that's what I've done. Cynthia's from New Jersey and Susan's in Michigan. Are they close or what? I don't know. Oh, okay. There's my knowledge of the American states. Not even a little. There we go. As you can tell, I didn't do very well at geography at school. Okay. Just give it another 1 minute. Oh, but they're both freezing. Is everywhere freezing in January? I don't know. Definitely not in New Zealand, but sometimes here I think it's freezing and it's probably not really. Megan says, remember when we talked about driving from Wisconsin to DC? Oh, yes. Marina says it's cold in Vienna. I should imagine it is. Oh, Susan's in Puerto Rico. Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. You're in Mexico. Hola. We've got such a mix here. We've got New Zealand, Guatemala, Mexico, America. So cool. Okay, so today we sort of changed the structure around slightly. It's not going to be too different. Megan says it's cold here and there's 10 inches of snow in the ground in Wisconsin. Lovely. Okay. So we're not like completely drastically changing the structure of anything. It's still a Q&A call. So there's still, I mean, I'll go through it in a minute more formally. But it's still a Q&A at the end. So you guys can ask me questions and things like that. But I also wanted to add a little bit of structure. Oh, we've got someone else coming in. I just wanted to add a little bit of structure to it to kind of give it a theme every month. And I kind of do that anyway, but I never sort of made it formally a theme. So this time around, we're going to be talking a little bit about marketing. Only because I would say that's quite a hot topic right now. I've been getting lots of questions, and particularly I've been doing sort of a lot of coaching calls and people are sort of coming into the marketing stage as well. So, and it was also part of the theme of the group coaching workshop we did last month for Serious Successful Services. So I thought we would just kind of continue on with the theme. And also there's another workshop coming up in February where I'm going to be focusing more on just marketing. It's just going to be dedicated to marketing. So, oh my God, and Jen is in Chicago. So you're quite close to Megan. And I do know that because I have been to Wisconsin and I went to Chicago while I was in Wisconsin and they were very close. Courtesy of Megan, who put me up. Okay, so good to see you guys. I'm gonna screen share. Oh, it's only 5 hours from Detroit to Chicago too. I love how Americans say, oh, it's only 5 hours, like it's just down the road, like you could pop there, you know, just wake up one day and think, oh, I'll pop to Chicago today and I'm in Detroit. I love how you guys do that. It's so funny. When Megan says to me, oh, we're going to do an 11-hour drive, and it's like I have to prepare for months for that. Okay. Jen says she went to University of Michigan. Oh, and Cynthia popped to Florida. Popped to Florida. You guys crack me up. Yeah, Marina says 5 hours. She would drive across 3 countries. That's pretty much the same. That's pretty much what it is in Europe. Unless you're driving from like the top end of Spain to the bottom or something like that. But you could easily cross 3 countries in Europe in 3 hours. Especially over that side. Okay, so that's not while we're here, by the way, but that was kind of funny. Right, I'm going to share screen if I can get around to it, if I can even find it.
I see Brooklyn. I see Brooklyn. Oh, you took her away. Show Michelle.
There she is. Oh my God. There's someone else coming into the room. So that was the perfect timing. I'm going to have one of those in April. Can you believe it? Okay. And screen sharing now. So if you guys can see my screen, give me a thumbs up. I'm not going to open it all the way. Maybe I should open it all the way. Oh yeah, that's better. Okay, so I've done a little presentation. I got a little bit tired of Canva and I decided to do this in Prezi. So this is the first time I'm putting it out there, but this is Michelle's monthly call, January 2021. So in this call, we're going to look at how to step up your game and start making your financial goals occur. And this is kind of like setting financial goals and also kind of taking a step back. I would always really encourage people to go for big picture goals and things like that. And I still do. But I think people are mentally struggling with this concept at the moment, particularly because of COVID and everything that's going on and the uncertainty in the world. And a lot of people I've spoken to are like, rather than like, oh, I've got these plans and I want to make multi-6 figures and I want to do this, that, and the other, they're like, I just want to get through the next month if I can. And that tends to be the focus, and how people can sort of quickly generate leads, quickly bring people in. And there's like a very common theme about how can I do this and make it snappy. So I'm going to give you some updates on VMF, of course, as I always do in this call. And then also we're going to do a quick Q&A at the end. So hopefully we'll be able to cram it all in. And I'm going to share with you a 4-step formula for stripping down the noise and overwhelm, so you could focus on what's absolutely essential for stepping up your game in your online service business and taking greater strides towards your goals. So part 1, I have to move you guys over here. Part 1 is the thing you need to do before you even think about business and marketing planning. Part 2 is how to cultivate, focus, and step out of overwhelm, even when your big picture goals seem out of reach. Part 3 is about the one marketing aspect to focus on to secure more clients, get more sales, and accelerate your results across the board. And then part 4, we're going to look at how you can start investing in yourself and your business right now to help yourself achieve the desired result. So going to keep it, omitting someone else. So we're going to keep it light. It's not going to be too heavy like a major webinar-y thing, but it's just a casual call, and we're just going to touch on some points. And I'm curious to see what you guys think of the call at the end and whether you thought it was useful or helpful, because I want to basically follow this structure every month, but do sort of different topics and talk about different themes and stuff like that. So it's just to give you some takeaways. It's not like a big training class session or anything, but hopefully you'll be able to at least get some ideas from it and be able to use it to your advantage. So like many, I've been experiencing highs and lows in my business this year as well, but 2020 and its events have allowed me to really reevaluate and assess my business in order to take time to make the right decisions on where I'm going to be taking everything. And I think a lot of people have done that actually. It's been last year was very much a reflection of like, what do I do now? Where do I go from here? Because the world is different. And do I still follow the same path? Do I still do what I'm doing? A lot of people have been jumping on calls with me saying like, is it still working? Of course, virtual business is still working. If you're looking to go into that or continue that, it's probably one of the biggest things that's working right now because everyone is taking their offline businesses online. So what I wanted to do is just reevaluate what that looked like for me. And a business doesn't survive almost 16 years. I can't believe VMF is nearly 16 years old without going over the odd hill to climb. But once I dealt with the issues at hand, it's time to roll up my sleeves and focus on income goals. So in the end, I think everything boils down really to income goals. And I think it has a lot for people in 2020. Last year, I switched from making annual goals to monthly ones. That was one of the big things I did. And I had, at the start of the year, I had an annual goal. And then after things changed, I lost 2 really major clients in March, just as COVID was starting. For those of you who don't know, they were 2 of my one-sourcing clients, and they had businesses in travel, events, management, and that was kind of the whole basis of their business. And like within 2 weeks between these 2 businesses, there was like $140,000 of refunds because people could no longer travel, they could no longer attend the events, and then the refund policy meant that they were still entitled to get a refund. So literally the businesses folded overnight. So yeah, that was like that happened in March, and then I knew then like I've got to reevaluate stuff, that because this isn't going to be just happening to me, this could happen to a lot of people. So I switched over to making monthly goals, and usually we got to we did the work and we got to the end of the year. And usually December is my quietest month of the year. It's the year where I basically know and say to myself, like, I'm going to have to down tools, because you get the run up to Christmas. We've just had Thanksgiving, nobody's really starting anything, doing anything. If you do get any client consultations or anybody interested in working with you, everyone's mind is in January, February, that type of thing. So usually December is my quietest month, but I decided to turn around in December 2020, and I had my best month in, I think it was probably about 5 months in terms of turnover in the business. So basically I put my mind, body and soul back in the game, and I just thought to myself, well, if I can pull all these little techniques and things out of my bag and make the quietest month of the year for the last 16 years my best month of last year, then I've got something to offer. And I did. So I'm basically going to share with you what I did last month and what I've decided to do to continue on my journey. So part 1 on this formula is the one thing to do before you even think about your business and marketing planning, and that is to set a short-term goal. Okay, if you're somebody right now who is already really achieving your annual goals and you've got these big grand plans and things like that, or New Year, you did the thing that we ordinarily do is set these annual goals and where I want to be by the end of the year, then that's fine. Carry on doing that if you feel cool about it. But I know that there's a lot of people out there who are not feeling cool about that right now. And they're thinking more in terms of next month, next 2 or 3 months. So I would suggest, if you are struggling with some financial goals right now, then I would say start to shift into short-term goals. So, for example, a financial goal to reach before the end of the month. If you said at the beginning of the month and you say you're going to reach it before the end of the month, so you've still got time, a couple of days left in January to start setting your financial goal for February. So this could be, for example, earning an additional £2,000 a month by selling 4 packages at £500. So break it down into something that you find manageable, something you feel is achievable. In the group coaching program that we did in January, we talked a lot about packages and financial breakdown of packages and how much you should be charging. And always find something that feels right for you in terms of the package. And again, I was talking to one of my coaching clients today, and she was asking me about, like, what do you think I should charge? And it's a really loaded question. It's such an open question, because it's like, well, what are you going to do? So what I would always suggest for people is think about your goal, right? Think about your short-term financial goal. Let's say it's £2,000 a month, for example. Now, if you were to sell a package for £50 a month, let's say you're a graphic designer and you do a few social media banners or graphics or something like that, and you say, well, I'll do it for £50 a month. There's a lot more stress involved in finding many more clients at that small amount of money to reach your goal than there is to say, okay, well, I'm just going to create a high-end package at maybe 250, 300, 500 a month, and then I'm going to go with that. I will say, in terms of sales, in terms of people, because this came up again about what people were feeling comfortable in spending right now. And I've released things, or kind of got clients on board at different rates, different packages, more so in consulting, but it works the same with services as well, where I say, okay, well, let's do this project for this amount of money. And I will say the amount of money that I would say people are seeing as a no-brainer right now, they don't have to think about it so much, is about £47 or about 50 quid. Okay, so I found that a lot of people will be happy to part with 50 quid and not worry or think about it too much. Anything above that, people have to think about it. So that's just something I've discovered and wanted to share with you. And again, it all depends on what you're offering. So I've added in there as well, if you want to earn £1,000 by selling 20 digital products at £50 each, or a workshop, for example, £50 per person, then you can do something like that. And I wouldn't worry too much about if you need a volume of people at that price. And again, there's different audiences have different things, and you have to test things out. But from the people that I've tested it out with, if I say something like, this is 50 quid, it's like, okay, go ahead and do it. And if I say something over that, they're like, okay, I'll think about it. And also it depends how convincing you are, because again, I just had a call yesterday and I was able to sell £1,000 package. So if my goal was £2,000 a month additional income this month, then I've already made 50% of it on one call. So whatever way you look at it, however way you slice it, you're going to have to find a financial target for that month that you feel comfortable with, and then knowing that you're going to have to find a certain number of people in order to pitch that to and then convert them into paying clients. So you need a goal and a breakdown of what's required to reach that. Once you know exactly, okay, I'm going to set this package up, I'm going to charge this amount of money for it, this is how much I want to earn, so I need to sell 4 of those at this price or whatever. You have to then break it down. So you may be able to use your existing services, packages and products, or you maybe need to create a new package or a new product. But either way, it has to feel right to you, and you need to naturally experience the excitement for it and have flow about how it will come together and be really raring to go. And what I mean by that is, like, when you've put a package together and then you're like, I don't know if this is going to work, and are people going to buy it? Is that of interest to people? Like, when you're sort of self-doubting and self-questioning, then that probably means that there's something not quite right with the package. If you're like, no, that sounds really good, that's a good offer, that's good value, etc., then that that's something that you should run with, because that's going to come across when you're talking to people on the phone, doing consultations, doing video calls, that type of thing. So when you put your package together, if you're looking at your current services and your current packages and you're thinking to yourself, well, nothing quite fits, nothing's quite right, just make a new one. Just take some of your skills, services, whatever it is you do, and just make a new package, put a price tag on it, and then start putting it out there. And sometimes as well, if you've not done this for a while, it tends to be a lot easier to get people's interest when you create something new, even if it's the same services, but they've just been rehashed in some way, or reworked, or re-put together, or reworded even. You'll be able to do that. So that's the first thing that you need to think about. The second thing then is how to cultivate focus and step out of overwhelm, even when your big picture goals seem out of reach. So you create a plan and a structure for exactly how to achieve that financial goal, and then include specifics and things you can action and give yourself deadlines to meet them. So action is really the key here. After you've made your decision about your package, how much it's going to cost, and then how much you are going to sell it for, and how many people you need to secure, you can start getting your head around the planning for that. So for example, if you only need a couple of people, then for me, doing something like direct outreach is a really good avenue to be able to secure those couple of people, because you don't need mass volumes. If your package is much smaller and you need to reach a much wider audience, then you might have to start thinking about, shall I put together a webinar? Shall I put together a call? Shall I do this, that, and the other? Do I need to go back to my email subscriber list? That type of thing. So you need to create an appropriate fitting plan for whatever the financial goal is and whatever volume of people you need to be securing in it. So for example, you can implement certain outreach techniques like joining and participating in Facebook groups. This is a big topic for me right now. I've really gone the extra mile in terms of this in Facebook, and it's really working for me well. And this is something I taught in the group coaching last month, and we talked about reaching out on Facebook groups. And I always love to be able to test my own theories, my own techniques. So I just went into a really random group on Facebook, and I went in there, and there was a thread on there, and it wasn't a business group or anything like that. It was a women living in Egypt group. And one woman was in there, and she just posted like, I really want to come and move out to Egypt. But I'm a little bit concerned about the salaries, about the employment, about the situation there. How does it work? What could I potentially work as? That type of thing. And I just jumped in there and I just said, like, I live in Egypt, but I don't work in the Egyptian system. I don't have a job here. I don't earn a salary from an Egyptian business owner, but I do have an online business, and I do help teach people how to create their own online businesses. And that basically was my answer. It was very nondescript. It answered the question, addressed the question. And then within hours, like literally within hours, I had 3 new inquiries about, I'm interested in this type of business. Can you tell me more about it? And then I think within the next morning, there was another inquiry as well. So like 4 leads, 4 people coming to me saying, I am interested in what you have to offer, and can you tell me more about it, and what type of business could I do, and that type of thing. And now out of those 4, 2 I've got appointments with, and 1 I'm in contact with like as a potential, and then the other one, she's coming from America, but she's not coming till the end of the year, so she's like, I'll definitely be in touch then. So I've just made 4 leads, 4 connections, 4 potential people, and you have to look at it that way. So there is also focus on getting people to join a call where you can upsell a package. So do a free call on a topic or a subject that's linked to the package. So for example, if you're selling services and you're selling customer support services, you would want to do a call relating to the benefits of customer support, tips and tricks in customer support that you may not have thought of before, how to use your customer support desk to upsell packages or make sales, something like that. So you just got to get your thinking cap on, brainstorm a little bit, and think about how you can demonstrate how something is beneficial that's linked to the package or the product that you're offering. You can also focus on a sale or an offer on some kind of dedicated page. So again, if you don't want to go down the road of like sending people to your homepage of your website, put together a dedicated page. If you want to, and you're, for example, targeting people on LinkedIn, you can put together a dedicated page saying, you know, like, hi, LinkedIn connection, or thanks for coming to this page, or here because you're a LinkedIn connection, something like that. So again, that just adds a little bit of personal detailing to your outreach. Or you can aim to send Bonjoro videos to any existing mailing list subscribers or clients. So basically you can put together your Bonjoro video, you can do them individually as personal messages, you can do a pre-recorded video and upload that. But either way, Bonjoro is a great tool. It's at bonjoro.com, I think it is, or it could be something else, but I think it's that. So yeah, you can go and check that out. You get 50 videos for free, so that gives you the potential to send 50 leads for free and to see what you get back. So whatever you decide to do, you then need to make sure that you have your list of materials that you need, which you may already have. Like you may already have them on your website, your sign-up box, your webinar, your Zoom account, whatever it is, or anything that you need to create, plus any resources you require in order to check each item off the list and prepare your project so you're ready to go. So you might need graphics, you might need promotional banners. If you've got social media and you're focusing on something in social media, don't just leave it and say, well, like, oh, I've done a couple of posts in the thread. No, change your header, change your banner, make it your call to action. So whatever it is that you're considering doing, selling, pitching, whether it be paid or a free call to get people onto a paid thing or a consult or anything like that, change all your social media branding in the headers and everything to reflect whatever promotion it is that you're doing. Put everything together so you can get ready to start. So then part 3, one second, is the one marketing aspect to focus on to secure more clients, get more sales, and accelerate your results across the board. So organic marketing is a very effective way to secure clients. So you need a plan for short-term gains. And the best plan you can put together for short-term gains right now is either personal messages or contact or video messages. Okay, that's what's really, really working right now. What I found to work right now. I've got a huge mailing list and I've done a lot of email campaigns. I've done various things. I've done webinar classes. I've done free calls. I think the only thing I haven't tried, which I think is on my list to try, is a paid call, like a paid 90-minute workshop, then going into maybe a sale of a package or something like that. But the most effective thing I found and the most responsive, and what we're looking for here, folks, is engagement. We're looking for people to just simply engage with you by replying, by leaving a comment, tagging you, whatever it is. That's some form of engagement. It means they've come to you. And that's what I'm finding right now are the easiest people to secure. This is why I like Facebook groups, because when I'm making a comment, they're coming to me in the end. They're saying, oh, hi, you know, and literally people are apologetic, like, do you mind me asking, you know, what business you've got or what you teach or how you can help me or something like that. So personal messages, comments, direct messages, even direct emails is fine as long as they're personal. or video messages. And I've just gone into, we were talking earlier, me and Megan, about Clubhouse. I've just gone into Clubhouse as well. I'm exploring that. So I'm always exploring new avenues and new avenues of social media to see how that will work for me as well. And Clubhouse is a social network, by the way. You need an iPhone and the app, and you also need an invitation at the moment. But I have actually 3 invitations. So if you aren't in Clubhouse right now and you want an invitation, just leave it a message in the chat, because I'll get to it at the end, and then I'll send you the invite. So let's say you create Facebook covers as part of your service. You can go through, and this is just an example, so you can start applying it and thinking about it to your own service. You can go through and quickly search Facebook groups or pages. This is something I've done myself as well, by the way, and it worked. So you join all the groups and the pages that have really crappy Facebook covers or no cover at all. There's so many groups and pages that just don't have any cover. Contact the group's admin or the owner of the page and say how impressed you are and how much they'll benefit the group or the page, and you want to share it, but you've noticed the cover could be better, and offer a fee to design the group cover. And of course, be sure to explain the benefits of having a beautiful cover. And this works best with business style groups or pages where they make money from members. So it tends not to be a very good way, or if it's like somebody setting up like a buy and sell group or something like that, where they, unless they're charging commission or something for the group, they're not really making any money. It's just like a hobby. But if you do it in more of the business oriented groups, or the people, like the leaders or the authority people who have the groups, then you can just basically go and say, I think this would be good for you. I would love to share the group. I noticed that your header could be improved. How about I put this together for you? It would be 40 quid or something like that. So again, that's an example of a very small thing that you can do, but I have done this myself, and it resulted in a client. They initially spent $99 with me, and I did their Facebook header and a Twitter header, and I did a LinkedIn header, those 3 things. And I basically reached out to him. He was a psychologist. And I said, like, I've noticed that you've got a great kind of brand going ahead here, and you've got great information, you've got great videos, but I think that your headers are really letting you down right now. I do this package, it's $99. If you want me to just go through and give you some really professional headers, then just let me know. And he came back and said, yeah, sure, go ahead, do it. So I did the headers, and then he came back and said, okay, what else can you do? And I told him about all the other things that I could do. And he's been a client now for like 6 years, and he's like literally spent thousands with me. So don't think about like, oh, it's just a small thing or a small amount of money, because it can lead to a lot bigger things if you pick and select the right people. So you can advertise something, maybe suggest monthly rotation. And so, like, let's say, for example, in this scenario of, oh, I design Facebook headers, or I design headers for social media profiles, you've got to give them something, because if you go there and say, oh, I design headers, do you want headers? They'll be like, no, thanks. Like, why would I do that? But if you went there and say, I design headers, and did you know that you'll be able to advertise something in those headers? You'll be able to rotate them every month, make a new offer that can increase sales. It will encourage your call to action. If you really want people to take a specific path, it can increase members in the group, or it can increase followers. People are more likely to click. People are more likely to come back and visit. Builds authority. People are more likely to join, etc., looks more pleasing, that type of thing. So you've always got to contact people with a suggestion and then say, this is why I'm suggesting it, because it's going to be good for you, because did you know that there are lots of things that could happen because? So always give them a because, and then it will make it much easier to be able to get them to respond back to you and get that engagement. So be sure to keep plugging away your efforts, tweak things as you go based on what you're doing to get the best response, and choose an approach that suits you best. Not everyone's into the video messages, I know. So how do you take this further? So right now, and again, this is just sharing the stuff that I can help you with. In Virtual Miss Friday, for those of you who didn't know, we've released 2 membership options inside Virtual Miss Friday, because a lot of people wanted access to all the training, but the training was several £1,000s and they wanted to be able to access it for a much lower fee. So we introduced last month the Essential Coaching and Marketing Suite, which is currently £97 a month or $777 a year. And in the Essential Coaching Marketing Suite, you'll get access to all of my group coaching programs. And in February, like I said, I'm going to be doing a marketing workshop. So these are just ideas I'm sharing with you right now. This is a brainstorm of, how I can give you some quick tips. But I'm going to do a much more structured marketing workshop. And I'm going to be doing the start of it on February 16th. And then we're going to go into the full structure of the workshop. So if you have Essential Coaching and Marketing Suite, you will be automatically added to that workshop. It's part of your thing. So if you've got Essential Coaching and Marketing, you do not have to sign up for the workshop. You will have it and you'll be able to join next month. If you don't have Essential Coaching and Marketing, then what you can do is you can join Essential Coaching and Marketing, and you can take the workshop, and then if you want to come out of it the following month, that's fine. But with the Essential Coaching and Marketing, you get the monthly call with me. So you can jump on a call with me every month. We can talk about your business. But you also get the marketing efforts of myself and the audience that I've been building over several years. We're up to over 100,000 in followers, subscribers, just generally people that are within my audience base. And every month with that, we do an opportunity for you to submit your own promotion, your own marketing ad, and we will then submit that through all our social media channels, through the groups. Right now there's a LinkedIn group with like nearly 19,000 people in it. Then there's a Facebook group, then there's a Facebook page, and Twitter with 40-something thousand followers, and the subscriber list as well. So it'll go out every month on an email. So if you want to boost your marketing and you want to also take part in the marketing workshop, then the Essential Coaching and Marketing Suite is the right thing to go for. And then if you want just that kind of like Essential Digital Training Suite, there's all sorts of techniques and things like that in there that you can go and access through the programs, the courses. So you'll get access to all my digital training, and that is also £97 a month right now. So I would definitely recommend the Essential Coaching and Marketing Suite, because you get the workshop, which I'm going to be doing next month. And in that workshop, I'm going to be sharing my own content strategy, what I do with a piece of content each time I create one, and the process that I go through and how I distribute it and how I put it together. So you'll get access to that, plus more tips, more structure, more strategy in terms of how to put forward your marketing efforts. And then, of course, if you want access to the digital training suite, that's also 34% off. That's going to go up to £147 next month, and it's currently £97. So if you've got any questions about that, let me know. But basically, the link to access is go.virtualmissfriday.com/essential-offers. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the screen share, and I will put that link for you in the members area. One second, where are you, screen share? Sorry, not the members area, the chat. I'll put it in the chat. And basically you'll see that there's 3 options in there right now. There's the Essential Coaching and Marketing, which is £97, the Essential Digital Training, which is £97. And then there is the 2 combined, if you just want to get everything, and that's £147. And those are on special offer. So I'm going to go through questions now, because, okay, that's good. We're making good time. So if you want to ask me anything about marketing or anything else, then that's fine. Let me just check out anyone who's interested in Clubhouse. These these Clubhouse invites have been like gold dust. Nobody can get them. Where are you? Oh, so many. Megan says, love that we have a bigger group this month. Yeah, it's cool. It's nice. Yes, yes, yes. Is this? Yeah. What is this all about? What about if there is a larger price package or product, but then there is a multi-payment plan of $50? Again, that all depends on how you want to go about approaching the income generation. I like to focus on subscriptions now more than one-time payments. Again, that's just a change that I made in my business. Like if you can get people on a recurring package of services, it's always much nicer than if it's just a one-off project. But if you're somebody who prefers one-off projects, then obviously it's not. You need to go. So again, this all depends on what you prefer. If people go for a multi-payment plan, let's say on a package that you're selling, then obviously you're going to have to sell more of the multi-payment plan in order to reach the goal. But when you do that, then you've reached the goal essentially for next month and the month after and the month after that and the month after that. So that's the nice thing about payment plans. So it can work either way. And I would say in terms of the 50, that sweet spot of $50 mark, yeah, I think $50 a month or $50 one off is the same for people right now. That's what I found anyway. Thanks for sharing the link to Monjuro. Cynthia has 3 invites as well. That's cool. Yeah, it's almost like your own radio station. Okay, so Susie would like a Clubhouse invite. So that was the first one I spotted. Susie. Dagmar would like to join. I'm just doing this in order. Just to make sure you guys have an iPhone, right? Yeah, okay. Hannah doesn't have an iPhone. You need an iPhone in order to join Clubhouse. Who kind of people don't have an iPhone these days?
Michelle, I actually put a link further down and it has how you can join via Android now.
Oh, you can. Okay.
Yeah, there's a link where it says you can access it through the iPhone, Android, and a browser even. So.
That's cool because when I joined, it was just iPhone. So that's an update. They do limit you to 5 invites. I've sent 2. That's why I have 3 left. Tracy Michelle, apparently it doesn't just work on iPhones now. Cynthia says they're friendly for testing. Can it work on iPad? I think so. I think iPhone, like, I don't know actually. Because again, it's like everyone said you need an iPhone. So who's my last person that I'm sending an invite to? I can't see here on the thread. Hannah says really liking the easy peasy 47 quid thing. Just need to think on what could work with the setup. Yeah. So, I mean, in your situation, perhaps it could be something like a review, a quick review of maybe a customer support desk. It could be coming up with some templates, customer support templates, maybe for predefined replies. You can sort of look at their customer support FAQs, see if there's anything that you can do with those. See if there's anything you can do in terms of adding upsells to support FAQs. A lot of people don't add any upsells in, they just answer the question. So how you can increase the performance potentially of a customer support desk. So, I mean, that's just off the top of my head. There are other things that you could potentially do. it could be a quick strategy for something, like a quick strategy associated just with one piece of the business, then you can upsell a full strategy from there. So just some of my ideas there. Hannah is interested in Clubhouse. Hannah, if you can, I mean, I'll send the invite to you, and if you can get it, then that would be cool. Okay, so Jen, I have a question as a new BVA just getting started. What's your question, Jen?
Hi, everyone. So I am new to the VA world. I am changing careers and I am coming from working in a school for 10 years. So very different than having my own business. And I did a 3-month training program and I'm now in the midst. I landed an internship for 3 months and I just accepted an offer for working with an agency that focuses primarily on helping female entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And I tend to be someone who's like very careful and like waits to jump into something until like I feel 100% ready. And I'm just wondering if I need to just like jump off the high dive and like get right into it. And if I'm just like taking like too small of steps. I'd love to hear like some people's experiences with how they got started. And I'm also someone coming from like, I wasn't, I found that I was like good at, tech and just helping and different like assistant type work, but I'm not coming from a profession like that. So I don't know if I'm like doing the right thing by getting some more experience before I go out on my own, or if I should just like rip off the Band-Aid.
Well, that's a really good question. I think every VA at some point has asked themselves that question, like, am I good enough to do this? Can I do this? And I think you saw some nods here from other people in the room. These are more seasoned VAs going, yeah, just do it. Mm-hmm. Because like, there's never a perfect time. There is never a perfect moment where you say, oh, right, I'm 100% ready now and qualified and I've got the experience, because you've not taken the plunge to get the experience. So the best thing that you can do is put yourself in the field. It's like, imagine if you're learning football, and you sit home and you study these techniques of football and how to kick and how there is no substitute for just going out there and starting on the pitch. And it's very much the same with virtual assistants. And don't be afraid. I've made so many mistakes when I started, because I literally came out from something very similar, not teaching. That would be my personal nightmare. I don't know what age the kids were, but
little.
Yeah, okay. So sorry, I do love kids, but the homeschooling thing is a nightmare for me right now. But definitely, like for me, I was coming out of, just office work and things like that. And I worked in hospitals and I've waitressed, I worked in bars and things like that. That's not all stuff I mentioned, by the way, when I started being a virtual assistant. I focused on the things that I knew I was good at, my strengths. I talked mostly about the things that I enjoyed and stuff like that. And I just started from there and used that as a basis. So not necessarily saying you should start as a VA and say like, oh, I do JavaScript. Yeah, no problem. Let me add it. No, but anything that you think, yeah, I could potentially do that, or I might have to put a bit of effort in, or I might have to learn a bit of stuff. But yeah, I feel like that's something I want to do. Then just, jump in and do it. I also don't hold back. Also, in one sourcing, or the concept of one sourcing, we talk a lot about the different roles and the different things that you can enter into in business, in virtual assistants, and maybe try working with another virtual assistant first, seeing how their business operates, trying to support them, and you'll gain some experience that way as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping to get for a few months, working with another VA who finished a similar program to me. And then from the agency, like getting more experience. I think they do a lot of like email campaign and like onboarding new clients. So I'm just hoping to like find a niche from those two things, and then, take more of a risk than I normally do.
But the interesting thing is when I was hiring, and whenever I have hired, a lot of people will have like certain criteria about things that you need to know. And from my perspective is I can, because of what I do, I can teach nearly everything that I offer because I did it myself. I learned it myself. I've done it myself. I can literally step into any area of my business and say like, I'll take over and I can do it. So when you're at that stage, you kind of feel like, okay, well, it's not necessarily the skills that I'm looking for. It's the character of the person that's more important to me. Finding someone who's very detail oriented, somebody who will be able to double check things. It's so hard to find people who like are really thorough with double checking, testing, looking. Somebody who's interested in sharing with me their ideas, their perspective. These are all things that I would primarily look for in a virtual assistant above the skills, because I think I can teach the skills.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things about being a VA that you can't teach. So I would say really focus on those things. The fact that, you know, like focus on trying to be more detail oriented, you know, the things that people really want. And then I think you'll be fine. You just got to get that first client and start the motions, but don't get bogged down with the whole perfection thing. I know that it's hard not to do, but sometimes you just really have to take that leap. And, you know, the mistakes are going to happen, things are going to occur, you might get frustrated sometimes, but this is all just going to help you push forward a lot quicker to where you need to be.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I jump in and say something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if anyone wants to add to that.
I was going to say two things as I was listening to you. The first thing is, I think that there's sometimes a lot of self-doubt when you start these things. But at the end of the day, I think each of us has more on the table to offer than we realize just from experience. So even though you're a teacher and you're looking at doing something different, there's a lot of things that you can take away from your teaching that you can offer as part of a service. So I wouldn't get too caught up on this like business mindset of bringing your experience to the table, but more how that transfers into how you can offer help to somebody. And the other thing I was going to say regarding perfection is in the business, I feel like there isn't ever perfection because things are constantly changing in the digital world. So you're better off just jumping in and trying to do it, like do what you're going to do. And then as a new tool or a social media thing, whatever, as new things come up, you have to learn to adapt to that. So there, you know, to Michelle's point, there's never this perfect time. You just kind of have to jump in and get the ball rolling. I know somebody that wanted to start a VA business and they were waiting for that perfect time, and 7 years later, they still didn't do it. So I would say just jump in and start doing what you can, and then leverage some of this other experience you're going to have and add to that. But I think there's no time like the present. That's just me.
Thanks.
Perfect. Anyone else want to add to that? You're more than welcome. Otherwise, we've got another question from Tamar.
Yeah, I would like to add something to that.
Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, because I was going through exactly the same question, like in March or April, when I was starting, and you know, I got a really big client that is basically until today, and in the future probably will continue to be my long-term client. And you know, most of my work, what I do is translation, and I'm not translator. You know, there are like literary thousands of translators that have a lot of experience. They have certificate schools and so on. But I showed a sincere interest in the company and what they are doing, and I was really in line with you know, with the project. And I just I got this client just like that, you know. It was just based on this, and not on that if I have school, if I have certificate, whatever. And as we started, I just picked up quickly, and I learned a lot of things along the way. And now, you know, when the project got bigger and it's almost 1 year in my country now, many experienced translators, they would like fight for this job, and they have much more experience than me, but I'm already there because I started since the beginning. And it was really based more on the personality than on experience. So it's definitely it's true what Michelle just said.
Oh, it's so good that you could back that up as well. It's always nice when that happens, so it doesn't just look like me making stuff up. Okay, so thank you so much, ladies. We're just going to go into one more question because we're reaching the end. And Tamar, hopefully I said that okay. Can you share several steps of new customers onboarding process? What are really crucial and key for a VA business? So sure, obviously there is the complete onboarding process inside my training. If you go to the entrepreneur in there, and I'll put the offer link there as well. So if you go to the entrepreneur, I have a full systems guide, all the systems that you need to use in a virtual assistant business, how we use them within Virtual Miss Friday. And then in there is also templates and things that you can use with the client to share that onboarding process with them, and everything that you need to do, and then the training to back it up. So it's quite comprehensive, and I've only got a couple of minutes. So I'm just going to go through the absolute basics with you on this call. So what I would say is essential, first of all, is getting a client area. And that can be like a project management space. So for example, I use Active Collab, but you can use any other project management space. I know that people are using Asana, Teamwork, anything where you can segment one area, which you can share with the client, you and your team if you have one, but if you're just a solo VA, then you and the client, that's private. And the one thing that you need most of all, particularly with the client, is a discussions area or a place to add different conversations within that area. So I would keep the client away. This is me personally. It's not something everybody does, but it's what I prefer to do. Keep the client away from the tasks area, any billable hours. Don't have them being able to look at that stuff. It freaks them out. And you'll get a lot of problems. Just stick to discussions and how to communicate. So once you've decided on your project management space, I use Active Collab. Guys, if you use something different out there and you want to share what you use, then please do share that in the chat. Once you've got your client area, then you can start building your onboarding process around that, basically. So I would say that there are four main points that you need to cover in the onboarding process. The first one is how you and the client are going to communicate with each other. You have to take control of the situation. I'm going to assume with the onboarding process that they already paid an invoice with you, and that they already have gone through that process of signing like a non-disclosure or a client agreement or something. So I'm not going to include that in the onboarding process, but that's something that comes before. Always before I take on a client, they sign a non-disclosure agreement with me, like customer terms, client terms, so they know how it all works, and they agree to the terms, and they pay an invoice. So they've also got their billing sort of set up. So once that's done, we need to set up the client area. Inside the client area, this is how you communicate. So if there's a discussions area, make a quick screencast video, or do instructions for the clients, or do a welcome call with the client so you can explain this. Entirely up to you how you want to do it. I use videos. So how you communicate, like where you need to go, what you need to click. If you want to respond to me, this is how you do it. If you use another area, if you choose to use WhatsApp, if you choose to use email, a customer support desk, whatever it is, you've got to be really clear. This is how you contact me. This is how you communicate with me, and that this is how it's going to work. So they know exactly what to do. The second thing is obviously any kind of terms and conditions. Obviously they would have signed the NDA, but anything that you want to kind of highlight just as a reminder, like remember that we expect your invoices to be paid within 7 days from the beginning of the month, just like really basic stuff, nothing too comprehensive, shall we say. The third thing is your boundaries. Very, very important. When the client can contact you, when you'll be contacting them back, do you work to deadlines? Do you work to times of the day? Really communicating that clearly. So like for me, it's always like saying, if you leave a comment or you leave something in a discussion, we'll check it within 24 hours Monday to Friday, or you'll get a response within 24 hours on Monday to Friday, but it's often sooner. Just so again, and the fourth point is about client management of expectations. So for example, this is what I expect of you, and this is what you can expect of me, and this is how it's going to work together. And then make that for each individual thing. Like if you've got a query on a task, this is what you do. If you want to start a new project, this is what you do. If you want to add additional things on to this month's package, this is what you do. Okay, so be really clear on those, and then lay it all out for the client in the onboarding process. Make sure they've got their access to their client area, their login, and then just tell them how it's going to get started. So you could essentially set them up in the client area and then have a welcome discussion, and then just lay all this information out for them on the welcome discussion. Or you can suggest maybe doing it over a call. Megan says, oh wait, got to go back. Megan uses Active Collab. You could also use Google Drive. Yeah, you can use Google Drive for document sharing and things. I do that, but I wouldn't use it as my full-on client area. Boundaries, Megan says, big mistake I made in the beginning, not sharing that up front. Cynthia says, I'm very focused, so I won't spend dollars on things I do not need while I'm new. Present yourself as knowledgeable and professional, and the other stuff won't matter. That's true. But I would definitely say there's another reason why we do the client area, and why also I like to condense all my communication within that client area, is so the client doesn't come back and say, well, I said this, I did this, I wanted you to do that. No, it's like, well, go back on I said it so many times. Can you go back on the discussion and explain to me, you show me where you said that or where you instructed that? And 9 times out of 10 they can't, because they didn't. So the most important thing always is to get everything in writing. And the easiest way to do that is through a client area where you condense all communications in there. When people send things through to me, for example, in the customer support desk, I will copy and paste their email into the client area and respond in the client area. And this also helps train clients to kind of keep everything in one place, and then it doesn't get all kind of like, well, I mentioned this here and things like that. Same with calls. If you're going to do a call with the client, whether it be a 20-minute connection call or something like that, or a monthly project call, do it in Zoom, record the call, put the call recording in Google Drive, and put the link in the project management space. So everything is recorded all in one place. Cynthia says, you protect the Word doc and it works the same, but I respect spending dollars where it's important, strategic. Yeah, it's up to you. It's, again, this is just something I would do. Over the years, I've learned how important it is to keep everything in one place. And for me, Google Drive isn't quite there yet. Although it has like comments and things that you can use, I still need that discussion thread. I still need to be able to add files. I still need to be able to kind of upload videos and things like that, and just keep everything in one place. So I hope that helped, Tamar. We've got a few minutes over, so I'm so sorry to keep you guys, but thank you so much for joining this call. I'm gonna reach out. Okay, so no, this is what I need you to do. Susie, Dagmar, and Hannah, write into support@virtualmissfriday.com and let me know your telephone number with the dial code as well, please. Because what will happen is I will send the invite via your telephone number, and it should come through as a text message for Clubhouse. So send me a telephone number, Susie, Dagmar, and Hannah, right into support@virtualmissfriday.com, and then we'll see you in Clubhouse and anyone else who wants to join. And thank you so much. Take care. Have a good month ahead. I'll see you on the next call. Bye, guys.